The totally cis urge to click on a what to expect video about transitioning. Welcome and buckle in, because this is gonna be a ride. Softening of the skin is self-explanatory. However, it does come with the side effect of your friends or yourself touching your face excessively. That, in line with decreased oils of the skin, will give you a more feminine glow. Decreased muscle mass will make jars your new rival. However, it does come with a more feminine frame, so that's a huge W. And if you're at all a masochist like I am, being domed by a jar is not that bad. You'll also experience thin and slow growth of body hair and facial hair. As well, although rare, you may see some spots no longer grow at all. Something that might be very important for you to hear is if male pattern baldness runs in your family, you have permission to now laugh at your father, because that will very likely not affect you. Body fat redistribution helps feminize your features even more, bringing fats to your face, your thighs, and away from the masculine areas in your body. If the first thing that came to your mind was you're gonna save lives with your thighs, then congratulations, you're a degenerate like me. Let's continue. Breast growth means breast tissue means mammary glands, which means yes, you can breastfeed a baby, or your boyfriend if that's what you're into. Or your girlfriend, I don't really judge. You're also very unlikely to reproduce, so you might want to get a sperm bank to wingman for you. Naturally, there are risks associated, but don't get that information from a VTuber. Talk to medical professionals or look up reputable websites. But what about the mental side of things? Well, that's what I find most interesting. First, emotions are going to come in like a mule with nothing but the intention to beat the shit out of you. That said, the ability to feel emotions and actually cry is probably one of the most liberating things about all of this. In a metaphorical sense, testosterone makes emotions feel like a black and white film, whereas estrogen is like that, but a unicorn vomited colors literally everywhere. You do, however, adapt to this, making it a lot easier to manage down the road. With all of that said, I'm going to get into a timeline of before, during, and after. Before anything, and for those that don't know, to get your treatment, you have to go through a medical professional like a family doctor, that or a gender-affirming clinic. There is the third option of DIY, which I personally never recommend. However, if you're forced to take that option, try and get some doctor of some kind to at least oversee your chemical balances. At this point, it's day one, you have your titty skills, and you've consulted those around you that you think will support you. Month one is packed with anxieties and excitement. You've taken a step in a new direction, literally leaving your old life behind. And if you're like me at this point, you swear to yourself you'll never become attracted to men. We'll come back to this later. Between month 1 and 2, you're peeling off these old layers and emotions are really starting to throttle you. Now, at this point, you might be a blubbering mess at almost anything. You might even go out of your way to exasperate the issue, because crying feels a lot better than the numbness of dysphoria and testosterone over the many years. And by exasperating the issues, I mean going out of your way to watch sad shows, etc. You know, scarring yourself forever by watching Your Lie in April. Just a random example. Just kidding, that show is not sad at all. You should probably go watch it. You can trust me, I'm a VTuber. Month 3 comes, and oh dear lord, you're not a double D goth waifu yet. Now, you know the process takes 3 to 5 years, but you swore it was going to be instantaneous. The devastating reality hits you that this is going to take some time. Now, you might have seen some budding already. Regardless of all of that, you know for sure that on average, this is where people begin to bud. And if you don't begin to bud here, don't panic too much, because these charts and these averages are very subjective to your genetics, so you might just be a bit of a late bloomer, okay? Don't panic. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more subjective, however, maybe you relate. At about month 6, you finish your job, you're filling up your truck, and you're about to drive home, and as you're driving home, you realize your eyes kind of dart towards this man's very muscular back. Fuck, we're attracted to men now. It's very subjective to people's experiences and their preferences, but ultimately, some people do find that their sexual preferences change during transition. I personally became very attracted to men, and I only dated men for quite some time. At about this time as well, it started to kind of do some funky things with my brain, where I would look at some dudes and I'd be like, wow, I would love to have his babies. Then I'd have to remind myself that, yeah, we don't have the utility for that, but it's a great thought. Those thoughts kind of came like hiccups. Like, it wasn't me thinking that, it just kind of popped into my head naturally. I don't know, kind of like an instinct or something. Maybe you relate, maybe you don't, but that's ultimately subjective again. Now, at about month 6, you may or may not see some more significant changes already. You might have an ABC cup as the most tangible thing to notice, but at this point, you have to realize that the changes are very subtle and you're not going to notice them yourself as easily as other people will. That being said, if you got to an A cup and you wanted an A cup, now you realize that you kind of wanted a B cup. Oh, also, it is month 6, so you probably ate about 20 jars of pickles or way too many chips. A year rolls in, it's literally your trans birthday, and you're still not a double D goth waifu. God doesn't exist, the world is cruel, everything means nothing, and literally everything just sucks. Nothing's worth fighting for. Just kidding, take a breath, calm down, okay? It's only been calm down. It's only been a year, okay? There's still 2 years of changes, if not 3 or 4. You may notice that you're microanalyzing your appearance. Well, good news for you, that's what all women do. Congratulations, I just made you euphoric for feeling insecure. Subscribe and like, please. At this point, you may realize that building authentic relationships with friends has never been easier or more fulfilling. You may also be looking at your former self like a completely different person because your brain literally isn't wired to be the same as you were before, especially with the new experiences you're having outside of the chemical changes in your body. From year one forward, things are subjective like they were before, but as things progress, so do you as a person. You may go through phases like the sun goes through seasons, but don't think it's cringe. Honestly, you should be exploring yourself, and you should be allowing yourself to live the experiences that you always wished you did. Maybe by now you met someone special, or you have some friends that feel like the closest friends you may have ever had, and these are the important things. A lot of people focus on the physical aspects, but these are what are truly cherished in your memories. There is a lot you cannot control here, and sometimes just knowing that makes it feel a little bit easier. Yes, you can save for augmentation, and yes, you can get progesterone to maybe further your results, but ultimately, I invite you not to gatekeep yourself out of the experiences you think you deserve. Actually, I know you deserve, but you think you need to be at a certain point to experience. Allow yourself to meet new people. Sift through some bad experiences to find the truly special ones, the ones that you'll ultimately remember. Start trying things that you believe you do if you're a cis woman, because you're allowed to do that. You can just start being you. Literally today. And ultimately, if dysphoria is still throttling you, try and embrace who you are. You're the perfect someone for someone out there because you were born the way that you were born. Yes, the grass is greener on the other side of the field, and yes, sometimes these things are hard to accept. I am there with you. But there is joy and there is strength to be found in truly embracing the uniqueness that you are, especially in this day and age, because you are special in all of the right ways, even if some people out there want to make you think otherwise. The fact is they're wrong, so don't let them convince you. From year 1 to 3, you're going to see the bulk of your changes. Now, that is subjective again. I saw the bulk of my changes between year 2 to 4. I am still progressing after year 4 to date. It's really subjective on your genetics, but on average, you'll see the bulk of your changes between year 1 to 3. And then 4 and 5 are kind of just fine-tuning. And after all of that, the 5 years of excitement, pain, tears, joy, you realize that the time itself spent was magical and irreplaceable. I just hope that when you hit this point, you'll thank yourself for allowing yourself to embrace and enjoy the experience as opposed to holding your breath for the destination. I guess that's why they call it a journey. I kind of always thought that was cringe up until literally now. So enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Again, like and subscribe if you want to see more, and until next time. Bye.